Hey guys, my name is Matsimio, and today I'm excited to say that we have finally learned some information about what Ubisoft has been working on in this upcoming DLC for Rainbow Six Siege. The surprising part, and admittedly a bit disappointing, is that it's not what we were expecting whatsoever. So as we all know, while Siege is a lot of fun, it does have its issues. Matchmaking isn't great right now, it can take a long time to find a match, the hit registration and just the netcode in general isn't perfect, there's a lot of problems with that, and there's just a lot of bugs. And so the great thing about this update, which they're calling Operation Health, is that they're really trying to drive home and solve a lot of these problems. The way they're going about it is by bringing in a one-step matchmaking. We've talked about this in the past. This should simplify the matchmaking and make it a lot faster and fluid so we're not waiting in queue as long. They're bringing in 100% server-based features like dedicated voice and party systems, which will result in apparently a lot less errors. Errors are really frequent, especially when you're trying to play with friends, and so that should solve a lot of those problems. And probably the most exciting news is that they're going to be adding in faster servers, higher tick rates, and improved hit registration. And so if Ubisoft is able to deliver on these promises, and they do bump up the tick rates, and the hit registration is improved, that is going to be incredible for Rainbow Six Siege. Like, that is going to build the foundation and hopefully improve the game for the long term. Like, if they're able to solve all these problems, that is going to be a godsend. Now, you might be thinking, well, why earlier did you say that this is a disappointment? Well, the reason why that this is a little puzzling is that they're pushing back the DLC that we were all waiting for in the next couple of weeks. So if you guys weren't aware, in like 2 weeks from now, they were going to introduce the new Hong Kong DLC where we're going to get 2 new operators and of course the new map. Well, now what they're doing is that they're pushing back the Hong Kong DLC another 3 months while they make these improvements for Operation Health. So essentially, we're now having to wait an entire half a year before we finally get these 2 new operators and the new map. On top of that, and the real kicker here, is that they're eliminating the Poland season. So normally we were promised 4 maps, the final one being Poland. Well, that one is being eliminated entirely. Now, that does not mean that we're not getting those operators. And the way that they're working around it is that for Hong Kong, we're getting the 2 Hong Kong operators and then the Poland operator. And then in the next one for Korea, we get once again the 2 Korean operators and then we get that final Poland operator. So they're kind of combining the 2, but we don't get that final map. And so while I'm excited about all of these improvements, it really begs the question, why are they doing this? We look back at all the past DLCs and they've been able to do that alongside bringing us more content. When I think of development, and I know I'm not a developer, but I would imagine the people that are working on the map aren't working on the infrastructure for the servers. Like, I think that would be a different developer working on that core infrastructure, while you'd have people like artists and the different developers working on the operators. The only thing I can think of is either that they're understaffed or they've been just really, really falling behind on these improvements, and their DLC cycle of coming out with more content every 3 months is just too fast-paced, and they needed this bit of a breather. That's the only thing I can think of. The other thing that kind of rubs me the wrong way about this is that it took them this long to make the announcements. I don't know about you, but I was really looking forward to the 2 new operators. I was getting hyped, I was getting excited, because I thought they did a phenomenal job with Velvet Shell. Mira and Jackal were a great addition, I really like Coastline, and I was hoping for the same thing for the Hong Kong DLC. And while I know that this is a bit on me, I shouldn't be getting this hyped over content, I should manage my expectations, it would have been nice if they just kind of lead us along, assuming that everything was fine and that we were going to be getting more content in a couple of weeks. All in all, though, while I do understand where Ubisoft is coming from, it leaves a sour taste in my mouth. They have said that they're also going to be making improvements to the quality control. One of the ways they're going about it is with the technical test servers, which they can then bring on over to PC, which then can go over to console. The great thing about this sort of 3-step process is that it allows them to test it more with more players and make sure that there isn't those large glaring issues. You guys probably noticed that with each DLC, while admittedly they do solve a lot of these bugs and glitches, they also create their own. The Velvet Shell DLC, for example, Mira, her gadget, could be meleeed from the other side. How that got through, no one knew, and that's the reason why they're implementing these technical test servers, so that should help as well. They're also going to allow themselves for faster bug fixes, so if something happens, they can roll back to the previous patch a lot faster, and we won't have those problems. And so once again, I understand why Ubisoft is doing this. Like, this will hopefully help the longevity and really help the health of the game overall. It just sucks that they weren't able to make this announcement sooner. I'm sure it was a tough decision on their end, and it would have been nice if they were able to deliver this alongside the DLC that we were expecting. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's quick little update. I hope you enjoyed. Give me your thoughts on this. Do you understand why Ubisoft is doing this? Are you excited? Are you a bit disappointed like I am as well? Give me your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. But yeah, guys, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.